We all die. You gonna kill yourself or get killed? Am I pregnant? 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 Help? Is there a possibility that I'm ignorant? Am I pregnant? Or am I okay? Could I be pregnant? How do I know if I'm pregnant?
I hate my body. I hate my body. I hate.
Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Help? Is there a possibility that I'm ignorant? Am I pregnant? Or am I okay? Could I be pregnant? How do I know if I'm pregnant?
I hate my body. I hate my body. I hate.
You must be the one that well, you can't beat him. Join him. This is a story of how I got fired from McDonald's. Previously on Don Hines Animated. Because everyone knows McDonald's. Actually, scratch that. Let's make it a Wendy's because da-da-da-da-da. Fuck McDonald's. Oh, Don, you got beef with McDonald's? Yeah, I got beef with McDonald's, but that's the story. What do I Don has beef with McDonald's? What do I Don has beef with McDonald's? Don has beef with McDonald's. McDonald's, official sponsor of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. But it was the first place to ever give me a job, so I guess it's not all that bad. Psych! McDonald's is straight trash, man. I hate that place. However, I will admit that their fries are amazing. If you told me that they sprinkle a little crack on their fries, I wouldn't be surprised, man. So let's get into the story, shall we? As many of you know, I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and at the age of 16, I moved to the good old U.S. of A. Broward County, Southern Florida. I moved to America for the same reason that every immigrant does. For a better life, more opportunities, essentially a chance to chase the American dream. So, needless to say, I was very excited to move to America, and I was even more excited to be going to an American high school. Every episode of Ned's Declassified, Boy Meets World, and Degrassi had prepared me for this move. I was finally ready to be an American teen. Or so I thought. You see, I thought that I had everything that I needed to fit into the American high school scene. I had a cool accent from a cool place. I was a great student, outgoing, pretty athletic. I was bound to become a key player to some sporting team. And I've been told that I'm not that hard on the eyes, if you know what I mean. All these things together seems like the perfect recipe for fitting right into an American high school. Unfortunately, as it turns out, I had left out one key ingredient, the thing that was going to make or break my high school experience: swag. Now, in my opinion, your swag consists of two things. The first being your personality, how you
carry yourself, and the second thing being how you present yourself, i.e., the way you dress. Now, personality-wise, I had my shit on lock, and by on lock, I mean I had my shit together as well as you would expect a teenage guy to be able to, because realistically, there's a lot going on inside of a teenager, right? For one, your body is an absolute war zone. Your hormones are surging off the fucking charts. Weird shit starts to happen. All of a sudden, you start feeling bad, weird behavior, and then for some reason, you feel this urge to try talking to the opposite sex. You don't know what to say. You have to figure out how to communicate. Hey, I want you to let me put a part of my body inside a part of your body, or vice versa, without being weird. On top of the fact that you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Let's be honest, right? And of course, when that ship goes down in a blaze of awkwardness, you go to the porn, and that's really where shit gets dark, man. There was just so much porn, too much. I think it's safe to say too much porn. Like, if I had to describe what my mid-teenage years were like, it would be these long periods of jerking off, eating and sleeping, and in between those periods, there were these tiny slivers of time. That's where everything else happened. So all of that considered, my personality as a teenager was as cool as anyone could expect. The part that I didn't have on lock, however, was the clothing part. You see, in America, brand name is everything. And unfortunately for me, I did not know that when I moved to America. So I show up to school in my goddamn Costco brand faded glory polo and denim jeans, feeling like a boss. And I instantly realized that when I stood among my peers, one of these things is not like the others. I was not properly dressed for high school success. Everyone who was anyone in school was rocking Hollister this, Diamond that, Obey this, American Eagle that, Express jeans, Levi's, the list goes on and on. I saw that if I was going to break into the cool kids crowd, or at the very least, not be in the lame kids crowd, I had to step my shit up. So I called on my dad, hoping that he could drop me a Diamond Supply stimulus package. But the call went something like this.
Hey, son, how you doing?
Hey, Dad, what's up?
Oh, you know me, son. I'm good. How you doing, my boy?
I'm good. You know, just here doing my thing.
Oh, that's good to hear, son. That's good to hear. How you liking school?
Oh, yeah, it's been good, you know. You know me, Dad. School's never been hard for me.
That's great, son. That's great.
Although, I was wondering if you could send me some money.
Okay, what do you need money for, son?
Just school stuff, you know.
What kind of school stuff we talking about?
Well, I need some clothes.
Clothes? What do you mean you need clothes? You came to America with 2 full suitcases of clothes. Oh, why you need more clothes?
Yeah, Dad, but they're not cool enough, man. Like I wanted some cool clothes, you know, to fit in better.
Hold on a second. So I don't send you to school for Christopher. You're frying for the little white pin and then turn them and turn you in a poppy show, Chris.
No, Dad.
You come to America so you can do well in a school and you can get into a good university. So you can get a good career and then you can go buy whatever clothes you want to buy. Don't watch nobody because they're not going to help you. Just study a book, pass your exam, and all of it. Alright? Okay.
Yes, Dad.
Alright. I have to go. So have a good day, sir. Love you.
Love you too, Dad. Talk to you soon. So basically, my swag was bound to stay on a minimum. Well, before keeping your swag on a minimum was considered cool by any. So for months, I continued to go to school wearing my clothes from Jamaica. And at the same time, I started to grow like a weed. In less than a year, I went from being 5'10" to 6'1", which of course was a good thing. It made me more useful on the basketball court, and it bolstered my confidence. But on the flip side, all of my shirts started to get that crop top action. So now, not only were my clothes uncool, but they were getting too small. I would stretch my arms up to reach something on a high shelf and end up looking like a bitch wearing her latest summer tee from Forever fucking 21. Things were getting out of control. So at this point, I was able to convince my parents to send me some money to go and buy some new clothes. But the money didn't go very far. I mean, you can only wear the exact same 3 outfits to school so many times before people start to notice. Things were looking grim, and it seemed as if I would never climb up the extremely shallow and superficial yet alluring social ladder that is high school popularity. Just then, when all hope seemed lost, a small golden light appeared at the end of the tunnel. And as it got closer, the golden light took the form of an arch. Wait, no, 2 golden arches. Could it be? Yes, it was. My first job opportunity. You see, I lived with my aunt and uncle in Florida, along with 2 older cousins who also moved from Jamaica a couple of years prior to me, both of whom had jobs at McDonald's, and the older of the 2 cousins was a manager. So one day, after getting roasted to a crisp for wearing a pair of USPA shorts PE, which is a fucking story in of itself, my cousin told me that she could get me a job at McDonald's if I wanted. Now, up until then, I had never even considered the prospect of getting a job. But now that it was laid in front of me, it all made sense. If my parents weren't going to give me money for clothes, then I might as well go and make it. So my cousin got me an interview, which she ended up doing herself, and just like that, I got my first job. I was 16 years old, and I couldn't have been more proud of myself. I didn't hear that it was for what is literally the lowest rung possible on the ladder in terms of a part-time job. I was about to be stacking that paper, man. And thus begins my very short relationship with McDonald's. Because little did I know that I was about to experience the most awful month of my entire professional life. That's right, it only took me 1 month to get fired from this place. As a series of events that unfolded within that month sparked a passionate fire of hatred and detest for the establishment known only as McDonald's. So now you have some context as to why and how I got this job in the first place, and how badly I would have wanted it all to work out. But alas, instead of being the solution of my dreams, it was the beginning of a nightmare. So stay tuned for the second part of this animation, part 2 of how I got fired from McDonald's, as I give you all of the gritty details of how and why I was terminated from this job. What's up, fam? Thank you for watching yet another Don Hines animated story. I hope y'all don't mind me making this a 2-part.
The Washington Post endorses David Blair, the Montgomery County executive, the best chance of injecting a taste of vitality into a county that badly needs it. Realistic ideas for attracting new businesses, extending pre-K, improving traffic, a progressive leader for jobs, to fund schools without more taxes, to take on the NRA and combat gun violence, and eagerness to listen, energy, a passion for innovation. David Blair, Democrat from Montgomery County executive, endorsed by the Washington Post.
Last time on Don Hines Animated. So now you have some context as to why and how I got this job in the first place, and how badly I would have wanted it all to work out. But alas, instead of being the solution of my dreams, it was the beginning of a nightmare. Now, I titled this video, How I Got Fired from McDonald's, which implies that I was actually fired from my job for being a terrible employee. Which I was, not gonna lie. If there was a checklist consisting of all the reasons to fire someone, I definitely had most, if not all of them checked off. But technically, I could have also just as easily named this video Why I Quit My Job at McDonald's. In a way, my breakup with McDonald's was just like my breakup with my high school sweetheart. Because in both situations, if you were to ask who broke up with who, it kind of depends on who you ask. I definitely broke up with her. This is what I mean. If you were to pull out my employee record from McDonald's, my file would definitely say not rehireable, indicating that they did indeed fire my ass. But in actuality, I stopped showing up to work well before before they stopped putting me on the schedule, which in my book counts as me quitting. That said, I probably wasn't that far away from being fired anyway. For instance, I sucked at everything. There was literally nothing that I could do well. I actually felt bad for the managers whenever I showed up to work. Because the moment any of the shift managers saw me, I could just see the cogs turning in their heads as they try to figure out where they could put me so that I would do the least amount of damage to the crew's ability to get shit done. You see, regardless of where you work in the food industry, whether it be for an excuse of a sandwich shop like McDonald's or for an upscale panty dropper like Benny Hanna's, the success of your crew boils down to one thing, and that thing is time. Every good crew at any food establishment has one thing in common, and that is that they all run like a well-tuned clock. Every gear needs to be turning at just the right speed for everything to run smoothly. Timing is key. One little hiccup in the machinery can set the whole thing off track. Well, turns out adding a 16-year-old Don Hines to your restaurant crew was like taking your finely tuned clock and beating the ever-living shit out of it with a sledgehammer. It honestly didn't matter where you put me. Oh, you want to put me on the grill? Sure, just don't expect any fresh burgers when you run out, dude. Because you can bet your ass they will not be ready. Or even better, what's that you say? The Angus beef burger tray's full, and we don't need any more because we probably won't sell any for a little while. Well, here's 10 more. Sorry. Oh, say what now? You want me to make some cookies? Okay. Just know that you're probably going to have to ask someone else to do another treat after me because I'm definitely going to forget about them in the oven. So you might as well just take 24 cookies out of the freezer and just throw them in the garbage because you're basically doing the same thing. Come again? You actually want me to assemble the burgers? Have you lost your mind? I mean, sure, I'll do it. That is, of course, if you're okay with waiting 5 minutes per burger, because I definitely don't remember how to make any of this shit, except the McChicken. I will definitely be spending an extra 2 minutes trying to find instructions on this little picture thing above the sandwich table, so, yep, sorry. Eventually, the managers did figure out my calling. I became the bread guy. You see, when you work on the sandwich table at McDonald's, your responsibilities include, but are not limited to, checking for new orders, making sure the bread trays were full, toasting the bread, and assembling the sandwiches. I was so bad at everything else that the managers decided to take the two simplest responsibilities of the sandwich makers and give them to me. So for entire shifts, my job was to make sure that the bun trays were always full and to toast the buns for the new orders. And whenever it got slow, I would just clean. That was pretty fucking sad. I also stole a lot. Wait, let me explain. Almost everyone who worked there stole. And no, I don't mean money. I'm talking about food. Whether it was squeezing 13 nuggets into a 10-piece box, or putting an extra patty and some bacon on a burger, or my personal specialty, smuggling cookies into your pocket when the manager wasn't looking. Stealing was just a part of the culture. And as all of you should know by now, that Don Hines will always do it for the culture. And although I might have been one of the worst employees McDonald's has ever hired when it came to actually doing my job, I was a god at stealing cookies. At any given time, I had at least 5 cookies in either of my pockets, and I never got caught once. And I know what some were thinking, Don, in your Pokemon video, you said that you've only ever stolen one thing in your life. What the hell is all this about? Listen, like I said, everybody stole. So it's like, if everyone steals, is anyone really stealing? Yes. So those are all the legitimate reasons for why McDonald's should have fired me. But they didn't. And even though it sucked working there because I was just so bad at my job, that wasn't the reason why I actually quit. I quit for the same reason most people quit their shitty jobs, which surprisingly isn't because the job is shitty. Most people who quit their shitty jobs do so because of the shitty people they work with. I've actually never met someone who quit their job because they were just fed up with the pay, or didn't like the hours, or didn't like the work. I mean, those may have been contributing factors, But the main reason, the straw that will always break the camel's back, is some dumb ass person. Whether it be a boss, a coworker, I mean, even one really bad customer can be enough to just say, nope, fuck this, I'm out. So for me, it was my fellow staff that motivated me to quit. Here are the 3 things that made me quit. 1, I worked at a McDonald's in Broward County, Florida. And if you know anything about South Florida, you know that it is flooded with Hispanics. So naturally, most of my coworkers were Hispanic. Now, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with Hispanics. A lot of my best friends are Hispanic. Latinas are without a doubt some of the most beautiful women on the planet. I know this, I've dated 2 of them. And next to Jamaican food, Spanish food is that fuego. You see, I mentioned the fact that they were Hispanic because my Spanish coworkers would just constantly talk shit about me in Spanish. And you know what? I probably deserved it because I was pretty ass at my job, but at least have the decency to do it behind my back. I mean, I would see 2 of my coworkers look right at me, then turn to each other, say some telenovela mumbo jumbo, and then have a good ass laugh. And although I didn't know what they were saying, I sure as hell knew what throwing shade looked like. And the second reason I quit was because I worked for the devil. And you might think that the devil isn't real. And if he is, it's a large red half goat, half man, Baphomet looking thing. Well, nope, you're wrong. The devil is real. And she is a 4'8" bitter middle-aged Spanish woman who lives in South Florida. If a black hole were to just spontaneously form in the middle of South Florida, I guarantee you that it was in fact a result of so much fucking evil being compacted into such a small body. That kind of density is bound to hit a critical mass eventually. And when it does, that McDonald's is going to be ground zero. Believe that. I could go on and on about how terrible it was working for this woman. She would yell and snap at people. She called people names. She was the type of person to fuck with your lunch schedule just because you pissed her off that day, which was every freaking day for my incompetent ass. I would have an 8-hour shift and she would make me take my lunch an hour after I got there. Tell me some bullshit about it's the only way the schedule would work out for everyone. Shut up! I remember this one time she straight up held my check hostage until the end of the shift on payday just because she knew I wanted to see how much I got. And I know she was just being a bitch to me because everybody else got their checks. So what the fuck, man? But the thing that made me realize that I did not want to be there anymore was when I saw a fellow employee do something that every customer fears will happen to them when they get food from a place like McDonald's. I saw a coworker fuck with someone's food. So this guy, let's call him Jose. Why? Because he's Spanish. Don't think too hard about it. So Jose was making a sandwich and I was on the toaster. As he was making the sandwich, he accidentally drops the top bun on the ground. I then watch him as he reached down, picked up the bun, and continued to make the sandwich. Now, I was 16. This dude was easily 25 and apparently had been working there for quite a while. He was swole, spoke almost no English. Shit, he barely spoke, period. He had face tattoos, that is, tattoos on his face. So basically, I wasn't gonna say shit. Instead, I walked over to the pickup area, retrieved the contaminated sandwich, threw it away, and then made a fresh one myself. So if you ever ordered a cheeseburger from a McDonald's in Pembroke Pines, Florida, the one by the LA Fitness, in the month of October in 2011, and it took hella long to get there and was made incorrectly, you're fucking welcome. Because there's a good chance that that one was from me. And although you were probably disappointed when you got it, at least you know it wasn't previously.
Where the fuck do you think you're gonna go this time?
Where?
Same
place I always
Same
go.
place with that same girl, right?
Yes, my same ass best friend.
Yeah, your
That's
best
me
friend.
all the
You think
fucking
I'm
time.
fucking stupid? I don't know if that's more than just a best friend. So fucking ungrateful.
Oh, I've been planning on going for a long fucking time and I won't be back.
Why did you turn out this way?
Can I be me?
I couldn't help but notice. Dropping out in a corner like you're trying to get over somebody else. It's funny how your story is a little like mine. Always having at a table with the bottle, giving labels to pass the time. But we could be through as a neon light, singing inside our songs all night. We can say goodbye, just at home. But if we're gonna be alone, we should be alone together.